No Italian meal would be complete without a sweet finish, and I have a very simple take on a well-known Italian favourite. I'm making tiramisu, which is one of the best Italian desserts, and the literal translation, which I love, is pick-me-up. It's so gorgeous. It's made with really strong black coffee, and we're just going to layer some sponge soaked in that and some beautiful mascarpone topped with a layer of cocoa. I need lots of mascarpone for this. Mascarpone is a really great cheese. It's a little bit like cream cheese, really, in that it's good for both sweet and savoury, so I love it in a risotto. You can stew that through a risotto, goes beautifully. And I also quite like it with my porridge in the morning. Get a bit of sugar in here. And you can really afford to sweeten up the mascarpone quite a lot. And I'm not much of a one for measurement, as you might have noticed, but I taste as I go through to see if I need to add anything more. And I'm really just trying to whisk this up so that my sugar starts to dissolve a bit. I'm cooking with my ears, as I often do, and I can hear that there's a little bit of graininess in there. Sounds like I'm whisking up sand and cream. Just want to wait until that starts to smooth out. So, great. It's nice and sweet. And I just get the kick of the cheese coming in after that. So I'm just going to set that aside, and my coffee will have brewed and cooled down a little bit. And what I want to do is take each one of these lady fingers, that's what they're called, and they're sponge, but they're quite crispy. You quite often see them called sponge fingers, or the Italian name is saviordi. And they just dip really nicely in the coffee without disintegrating too much, so they're quite hard. And you can sort of feel when they start to collapse on you, and that's the time to get them out there and get them into your dish. I just love doing these in individual servings because you just get your own little portion, and it seems very special to me. It's probably coming from a large family where it was a bit of a free-for-all around the food, so it was nice to have your own portion that no one was going to sort of bust in on. So I just now want to get a layer of this mascarpone on top of that. And if you need to sort of smooth it out, I like to get it just really roughly smoothed. It's not about making them perfect at all. Okay, I need to put another layer of my soaked sponge fingers on here. Give them a really good drowning. For as many Italian recipe books as I've got, or Italian restaurants that I've been to, they all have their own version of tiramisu. So some of them have got masala or brandy or some other sort of alcohol in them. I really like that about recipes, that you can adapt and change them just depending on, what you need. So I've simplified this recipe down without it being too inauthentic. So it's still very much a tiramisu. It's got that great flavour, coffee and all of that in there. But it's really, really easy to make. So I've got a little bit more mascarpone left here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of cream. I've got that to a really lovely, just what I'd call a dropping consistency. It's not a really stiff whip, just nice and soft. The final layer. Tuscan food is quite luxurious, still with a sort of rustic charm to it at the same time, which is really sort of reflective of the amazing countryside there. I'm just going to cover these in a beautiful layer of quite bitter cocoa. You can also grate some chocolate on to them as well. I do prefer just the bitterness of the cocoa. Great. Look at those. Have a little taste. It is a great dessert, and it's a real pick-me-up. Good one for morning tea time, I reckon.